Hello, 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 and welcome to the Film Burnouts. I'm Jacob.
I'm Ben.
Yeah, Andy.
And I'm Hannah.
And today we are reviewing Nope. So this is our third episode of the podcast. We all have, I think, good opinions of this film.
Definitely.
Generally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. Jordon Peele is my favourite director, and I still have Get Out in my top 5 films of all time. Not in terms of just cinema, like in terms of cinema, like your IMDb top 100s, but in terms of my personal own top 5, Get Out is in there. So I had high standards for this, and I think it kept them.
Yeah, no. Of course, going in, there was a lot of hype around the film. So, and honestly, it lives up to that, and even further than how people talk about it, especially Logan Paul. But no, it thoroughly re-envisioned my enjoy of horror films.
Yeah, it is a horror. Like, I don't necessarily think it looks like a horror film from the trailer, but it is. There's definitely elements of horror in there.
Holy crap, there are.
And different elements as well, like aliens and creepy, like scary, bloody, gory shit. It's just like, oh my god. But I absolutely loved it. Going in, like studying Get Out for Year 12 media, it's like, okay, cool. I think that kind of ruined Jordon Peele for me. And then watching Nope, which I had no idea was coming out at all until like 2 weeks ago when you guys were like, hey, we're watching Nope. I'm like, oh, cool. And just really interesting really interesting take on, I hope this isn't a spoiler, aliens.
No, I think
everyone knows
about aliens. It's a surprising take on aliens. Hannah's right.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, we better start out with a shot today.
Oh.
Given our cocktail is made up of half whiskey, we have a whiskey shot. So, bon voyage. Oh, it's not too bad actually.
It's a cheap $55 whiskey, so I can't believe it's going to be that great.
No, it's top of the line stuff.
Yeah, no, put it on tax.
Absolutely.
Was that diesel?
So spoiler-free reviews. I guess we'll get straight into it.
Yeah. Do you want to start us off, Andy?
Put it simply, the best way I can sell this film is, look, I find anything with aliens pretty cheap. Like, they could be pretty over the top. It could be really just listening to someone go, oh, they're there, man, they're there. But I think genuinely this is the film that will reinvent the horror around aliens. Definitely making it actually terrifying. Yep. So yeah, and the acting is incredible. Yeah, that's basically all I'll say on it.
And the fact that they keep on bringing up the same actor, Jordon Peele keeps on bringing back that same actor, but he kills it every single time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That whiskey's leaving a terrible aftertaste on my mouth.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I hate it.
We never had a drink for a few weeks. It kind of tickles the spot, doesn't it?
Nah, we drink all the time.
Literally
It's all about drinking. This podcast's all about drinking. We drink all the time. You're ruining the brand.
We film this every day.
You're ruining the brand.
We're playing this for the next 365 days. But no, I definitely, as a Jordon Peele fan, I was excited for this. I can say, without spoiling anything, I think it is now my favourite Jordon Peele film.
Damn.
I do think that, however, you compare it to Get Out, especially Get Out, the budget difference. Like, this film had such a large budget, and we'll go into it, but there's a lot of times in this film where they just flex just for the point. Like, there is cinematic parts where it is purely done just to flex on the fact that they have this technology, they have this talented team.
Few locations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a COVID movie, I think. I think production would have been during kind of that California. I don't actually know where the set was. I know like it was based in the movie in California, but I'm not sure whether or not this location was in California. But yeah, I'm guessing it's. And we spoke about it when we came out about the few actors that were in this.
I gotta say as well, it's quite a dark movie as well.
Oh
yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Like the lighting choices were very interesting. It's almost like I don't know if many people watching this study film, but obviously we all study film. Cameras are racist, so they generally are made to pick up white skin tones, and to get cameras to pick up black skin tones, you have to light differently, and it's almost like Jordon kind of lit halfway.
Yep.
Because there's moments in there where it's kind of hard to see actors' faces, but it doesn't take away from the film. So I thought that was interesting in terms of my spoiler-free, I guess. I'm with Ben. This is now my favorite Jordon Peele, and I've seen Get Out and Us, both really good films. It totally redefined kind of that genre, like the alien genre. It is very cliche and kind of like it's called budget. It's a very budget, like kind of
heavy
subgenre. Like
Yeah,
B-movie.
budget's a good way to describe it. I don't think anyone's really taken it this scale, but also made it. They kind of modernised it. I don't think people have futurised it and stuff like that. Kind of predicted what could happen, but this was really, although we don't have necessarily proof of aliens right now, it was a very modern take on what would happen if this was to happen. I think, which was something that Jordon Peele's very good at writing.
I will say, like, of course, it's running up like the film. What's the one where they try and communicate with aliens?
Arrival.
Yeah.
Arrival, yeah.
That was good as well.
Good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I need to watch that again.
But it even does, like, even that's completely, like, this is a completely different take from that.
Yeah.
It almost makes fun of all the B movies. Like,
Oh, the score in particular.
Yep.
The score absolutely sends it. I guess we're straight into spoilers and everything, but
before we get there, Andy's going to describe our cocktail of the day.
Yeah.
So take it away, Andy.
Howdy, how are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen and all in between? Hope you're enjoying this little podcast of ours. Now, we're going to be making a blue sky in celebration of the film. No, as you'll see, has a lot to do with sky. Now, what we have here is a little collection that you can get yourself. We've got a Tennessee whiskey, we've got a blue something French. What is it called again, mate? Carousel, yeah, sorry, not my language. Now we've got a lemon juice, we've got bitters as well, we've got egg white, and we've got sugar syrup. Now mix that all together, you get a great drink. Now let's just begin, shall we? Little one, not my size. Now, right, start off, we'll have some Tennessee whiskey. Now, of course, you got to do a 1.5 shot, alcoholism and everything like that. Start it off easy. Whoop, that one's for me then. Right, get that in ya. Wonderful, put that away. Just keep it away from the cousins. Now, put that over here and we'll go to the French bastard. Now, get that in ya. We don't discriminate on this channel. Now, put that, you want just a half shot. Wonderful. Get there. Oh, bit for the cat. Now, put that aside again. That one can go over here. Little Billy can't have any juice. Now, we got some lemon water. We'll probably try the bigger one, eh? Now, how much is this again? This is a halfer. 3/4. Brilliant. And there we are. Just chuck her in ya, you'll feel it later. Now, put that away, and then we'll do the half shot of the sugar, whatever the 3/4. Fucking oath, we'll try 3/4. Now, put that there, and wonderful. Hey, new job for me. Now, bit of this as well, get some egg into here. Look, we could get salmonella, or whatever it's called, but look, my dad used to live off it, so I think we'll be fine. Now, put that in as well. Look, the crew is losing their shit, but that's alright. Keeping. Look, I did do 3 shots, but that's alright. You can say whatever you need it to be. Now, need a couple of shots of this as well. Chuck her in ya. No, we don't even need this fucker. Now, a couple of ones of them. Now, put that aside as well. Little Billy doesn't need his go-go juice. And come all together, lock that in, we'll pour it in. Oh, steady as. Think I'm a welder or something. Now, chuck her in. Woo. And a couple of one of these. How you doing? No, he hasn't come out to his mum yet, but that's alright. We'll keep him in there. Now that we've done that, that's called activating the eggs. Now that they're activated, it's a dry shake? Well, I don't really care what if it's a dry or not. It can be who it wants to be. Now, I've got to unlock this guy. Oh, bastard. Hey, there we go. We get some ISO in here, yeah. Now, again, first AD, wonderful lad. Look at him, he knows. I'm just gonna use my hands because, well, we're a grotty lot. And a couple of them, wonderful. He'll be back later in the show. Now, get that right on, India. And a couple of one more of them. I really don't know what to say in these moments. It's a little bit awkward. There we are. Now, back into the small one. There we are. And pop that big bugger in there. And if we are almost there. Oh, doesn't she look gorgeous? Like a prom queen on a Sunday. There we are. Have a go at that. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, geez, that's light.
Everyone,
It
please
is our
kink
original
me.
drink.
Kink me.
Is it?
Clink.
Yeah.
You made this?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the emphasis on this is due to the effect, the theme of the sky. It's
That's
actually not
not
too
bad.
bad. It's probably our best one so far.
And
It's
they-
definitely the nicest one we've had.
Yeah, we're not dying
But
throughout
I
the
think
entire
I think
podcast.
it's the lightest tasting one. It doesn't
Because it's
doesn't
got
really-
actual mixes in it now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just fucking alcohol mixed with alcohol.
Yeah. it's
And the
actually
problem
quite
is, though, it's hiding the alcohol. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
the point of a
dangerous,
cocktail.
nice. That's quite a bit, yeah, to be honest, yeah. But should we jump into the spoilers now?
Yeah,
I think that's probably a
so
good part.
we'll start from the start. We opened to actually we opened on the bad it's a Monkey Paw Studios or Productions
Mhm.
that funded it, and they have like this little intro sequence in a train, just like it's nothing to do with the movie. It's just part of like publishing
Their production company.
their production
right?
company. But we're like, fuck, are we watching Bullet Train by accident?
Yeah, I was about to run out to the people and tell them they were putting the wrong film on. It looked like a bullet train. Yeah, it was pretty
But basically we start out with a quote, and I can't really remember what it was.
it's
but it was
the phrase that is on the American,
Oh yeah.
guessing dime or whatever they Americans
coin?
call it. Yeah, it's like "In God We Trust."
Oh
And
yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, that's actually spot on. That's what the coin shows like in after the second scene or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like the first close up we see is of "In God We Trust."
and
That's spot on.
and you'll realize very quickly with this film, they love title cards. Holy shit!
and it works
But it
so
works,
well.
yeah.
But we hear what we think is gunshots
Yep.
and a monkey screaming. And I'd actually been spoiled a little bit by TikTok before watching this
Spoilers
movie.
from now on, just to reiterate.
Yeah. So I've heard people talking about what's the monkey? What's the meaning of the monkey in Nope? And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, maybe must be what they're talking about. And basically, it's just a one shot of a girl slumped, like a dead looking body, and a monkey blood like covering its face.
And pause.
It beats on the dead body, and it like plays with the feet, and then it looks directly at the camera, and then movie starts.
Yeah.
And just
It-
that look, just an
Yeah.
animal,
Yeah.
just like fuck.
And like we can see, and I think a lot of people will see that it is
It's
VFX,
very CGI,
but
but
it's so good.
yeah.
And I do think I didn't bring this up when we finished, but I do think that it was mocapped part of it. There's a lot of parts where he's like pulling his hat off and whatnot.
The whole like touching of the foot,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was spot on.
Yeah.
Do you reckon
Andy
it was Andy
Serkis?
Serkis?
Yeah, I was actually he's done a lot. He did all the
Planet of
Planet
the
of the
Apes.
Apes and like he does like
Oh,
cars.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
What's
like
his
the
name?
best like monkey impersonator.
Yeah.
And the gremlin from
yeah.
the
That would actually be
I'm not
incredible
sure
if he
if they
did it.
did mocap it, but like
Yeah.
one part that I thought, I'm not sure if it's right, but there's when it looks at the camera, you can see his eyes like genuinely like look white.
Yeah.
Like it gives like a deathly like white scare.
It's such a good opening, and you're so intrigued at the start, and then it doesn't even lose the pace because
No.
we go straight into our main character.
Does it give a title card or it just?
I think it's straight in.
Yeah, because Nope comes like
Yeah, Nope's the
After.
title card. It's the movie
Yeah.
title card.
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
Nope, and then we go in, and it's our main protagonist. What's the actor's name?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya, and his father, and he introduced the ranch, and his father's trying to train
What's the
horses.
father's
for a movie.
name? Because I've heard his voice in so
Oh,
many
he's
places.
He's a pretty famous actor.
Yeah, yeah. So it opens up to this part, and his dad's training a horse. Keith David.
There you go.
Like if you watch the movie, you'll hear his voice and go, "Oh, that's him." And he shows his age for a little moment. Just a common horse practice. If you don't have a step, you get the horse, you train it to actually lay down on its stomach, and then you will step onto the horse instead of trying to get into the saddle. And he gets up there and he's training this horse, just slowly teaching it and everything like that. And they start hearing these noises. And it was such a very bizarre moment because you see bits of the dirt just flick up every now and again. They can hear this noise above them and they think plane or something like that. And then I'm not sure if it already gives it away or you just see the dad slump over, but in one of the shots it shows the entrance to the house and a key is like indented into one of the fences.
That's
after,
later.
yeah.
That's like,
it's almost like rain, but it's like hail, but in the middle of the day.
That really intrigued me because I would have loved to have known how they did the little dirt effects because it was like hundreds, and that's why the discussion we had after the movie. That's why I linked it back to that because there was so many little dirt spits coming up.
I reckon he did that practically with like squibs.
Yeah, little
Oh, put dirt in it.
gunpowder.
Yeah.
Little, plate squibs. Yeah.
So it was very, very nice. And then obviously we see Dad slump forward.
Fall off the horse.
Yeah, and that was something you brought up as well about Daniel Kaluuya's character was very OJ. He was very hesitant.
I think it shows a dynamic of the two. He doesn't want to show any weakness to his dad, and then of course his dad falls off the horse, and he's trying, and then it cuts to when they're in the car, and that car shot is so brutal.
Oh yeah, well, sorry to cut in, but
That's all good.
Even this is like such a small detail. We probably don't even need to talk about it now, but how Daniel, whatever his name is, the technology, he's on his phone before he sees his
his
grandpa.
phone cuts out.
His phone cuts out, so it's like, oh, what's that? Looks around, he's just there, and then falls off the horse.
It's really satisfying because you know something's wrong with the dad.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but it's like it's an interesting. It's like a slow reveal. Like you know something's wrong, but you
Jacob's
can't work out.
In a straight jacket in the next episode.
There's no like slow pacing in it. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like we know that they're connected, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then as Andy said, we're in the car, and man, it's fucking brutal. He's like lying against the window, and there's blood squirting out of his head. And you don't know what's happening.
And I'm pretty sure he's getting him to repeat the horses' names.
Yeah, trying to keep him conscious, and you can hear him going Mozart, Lucky, Louis, and like, and then it cuts straight to the hospital, which is a gorgeous shot of OJ sitting by himself in the and then we get to see his dad, and there's just this split in his eye.
Looked great.
And
Looked really good.
We're like, whoa, what the heck? Something has, because he was looking up when I was thinking, oh, what the hell has got him as he was looking up? Yeah. And in the trailer, I just was thinking about it earlier. They did show shots of the alien spaceship, but it was all as if it was invisible. They showed it moving through the sky,
all as if it was a cloud.
Yeah. So at first I was like, whoa, did it come down and like scratch him or something like that? And then we get the X-ray shot and we can see this small object is lodged inside his head, and we find out later it's a coin. Yeah. It's insane.
And then that's when we get the close-up shot of "In God We Trust" on the coin. That's when it goes.
As well.
When the quote at the start makes sense.
And then there's a time jump.
It's re-emphasized that it's kind of like random objects because he's driving back and he sees one of the horses that was out when the rain happened, and there's a key lodged in its butt.
Like just straight up digged in there, and you go, whoa. And I like at first I was like, whoa, is this thing just chucking shit? Like and then they say, oh, a plane must have dropped all that stuff. And it makes no sense. And then the sister comes back. Not gonna lie, I didn't like the sister for a while.
Me and Andy didn't like the sister.
So self-centered. So
it's kind of, it starts out 6 months later when OJ is trying to kind of like take over his dad's business.
And his dad, it goes straight to the set, doesn't it? Yeah.
His dad is a Hollywood horse rancher.
Haywood Hollywood horses.
Business, and like so they're on a green screen set, and clearly, I don't know, anyone that's worked on a set, you know kind of the hierarchy. It's almost class, like it's kind of a thing about class, which I think Jordon Peele goes into more in Us, but there's a hierarchy on set, and you could tell that this OJ, this horse rancher, nobody gives a fuck that he's there. They just want the horse.
Yep.
And so he doesn't have the confidence that his dad must have had. And they talk about like, where's the old guy? Oh, he's dead. Oh fuck,
This
we
is
have to
the
deal with
junior.
we have to deal with this shit. Oh fuck. But basically he's struggling to do a safety thing, and his sister walks in and kind of takes over.
Yeah, and this was interesting because I don't think it's actually connected, but it is a bit ironic that, because we know Jordon Peele likes to make relations back to modern day Hollywood, but also modern day the world. But I think in this case, it is almost, it's just ironic, but I think it could be almost a take at Alec Baldwin not caring about safety on set, because none of these,
but sure,
yeah, none of these ACs, none of these actors, they come to the horse. They do not care because they are listed as higher on this set hierarchy.
More of a, I think this probably went to pre-production before.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think it's ironic.
I think it is. I think he's definitely having a go at safety in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about that older, crusty white woman that shows up to set, who's the actor, and she goes, "Oh, your name is actually OJ."
Yeah.
Like actually having a go at him,
And he's trying to get Emerald's attention. On
Yeah.
the
It's very old Hollywood in a modern setting.
Yeah, and the guy's like, ladies and gentlemen, this girl and her whole asset. It's like, not those words exactly, but it's just like, her. But she's
get a
digging
piece
it.
of her or something.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, everyone come get a piece. Yeah. Nah, it's very odd.
It's very Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Actually looking forward to that new movie coming out as well.
Good actor as well, yeah.
And of course he hasn't got the confidence, and it's very well edited out how like claustrophobic it all of a sudden becomes.
Really tight on him.
And then they pull out what I'm guessing is, I'm pretty sure it's a special effects kit, in the sense of it's to get lighting and reflections for doing CGI, and it's this bowl that's reflective, and they shine it to the mirror side onto the horse, and it sees, and as if it's an animal staring back at it, and it freaks the fuck out. Freaks out on set, and he gets pulled off. And
that's a big moment, because he shines the mirror and he sees everyone looking in its eye, and it's the eye contact that sets the horse off, and that comes back later.
Absolutely.
It would genuinely be the sense of the horse not knowing that it's looking at itself and just seeing all of a sudden eyes.
Well, just reflections, honestly, for the horse.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something that comes back later. But this is the first instance where we see this kind of flex by Jordon Peele and his cinematographer in, we can shoot a camera. We can shoot directly into a chrome sphere, and we'll be able to get rid of it in post, and we'll be able to plan around
and it
this.
looks flawless. It
And
just
it's
looks
absolutely brilliant.
supernatural. Like there's no change at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and in case he gets pulled off, it's obvious someone is helping him get back onto a film, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it must have been just too soon," and everything like that.
And
And
we see the CGI horse going.
yeah, you literally see this green screen horse being rolled in.
I wanted to jump in for a second. Going back to way before you see the bull and the horse freaks out, we meet the sister officially.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, I'm this great person. I do bike riding. I do all this stuff." And then she also mentions how she mentions the first ever motion picture of the horse.
Yep.
And she mentions also that there was also a black man on that horse.
Yep.
I studied about that motion picture thing in CIM a couple of months ago. I had no idea that was a black man.
Really?
So
it is
I'm
one of the
wondering-
most poorly
Documented.
And they've buried it as well, probably. If they knew,
Wow.
they
that
buried
was
that
Thomas
it was...
Edison who created that film, not the first camera operator, and wasn't the first piece of film. A French dude did it. But Thomas Edison is famous for stealing shit and not giving people proper credit, and of course doesn't quote the actor, and he just gets lost to time. And they say in the film, they say that these main characters are the great descendants of it, and you will see later. She actually adds this line into her dad's, what the dad would always say on her tapes and everything, of we're the great ancestors in this, and she adds, we've had skin in the game, like makes it a race thing. And of course everyone goes, and does this.
Actually, no, one guy goes, and then everyone else sits there all good.
But yeah, like genuinely, that I'm it feels like that was the thing they wanted to make a film about, and then they turned it into something awesome.
Yeah, I think that's something Jordon Peele's fantastic with doing, and I think there's those sort of themes shown throughout his 3 major films at this point. Yeah, then we're moving on
forward a bit.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets fired from that job, and he has to. This is where we're introduced to Stephen Yen's character Jupiter, and he owns like a theme park just like I'd say a couple miles off of the ranch that his dad used to own. And
which is a real theme park, by the way. Which
is
really weird that they want to promote themselves in this way.
Yeah. No, yeah, it actually is, it is odd when you think about it like that.
It's just like, hey, come here, you'll get murdered. But yeah, no.
I wonder whether that was good publicity or bad.
Well, would you go there if you had the opportunity?
I wouldn't go, but I guarantee you they're going to add a ride that's like all themed around Nope.
There's an interesting...
It's just a vacuum cleaner that sucks in.
What were you going to say?
There's an interesting shot when he enters the theme park. We see a well. There's a camera. So
which
like
is a, what's it called? Chekhov's gun. Influencing something later.
But you turn the well handle and you look down the well and there's a camera at the bottom and it'll take a photo of you and you're like, oh, that's cool, I guess. And it comes back later in a really satisfying way.
Yep. And she actually sticks her head down there, like, because she's oblivious.
Again,
she, like,
the
looks
line,
her head down.
the line, she says, oh, sorry, just photo bombing.
Yeah.
Like fucking referencing the alien
2
and
other
shit.
kids there.
And she's kind of wandering around. The brother is on a mission. He just storms straight to the guy's place. And she says a line as they're at the staircase and they're having a little bit of an argument of like, what the fuck were you doing back there? And she goes, nah, you got to remember, this isn't my main stuff. This is my side shit.
Yeah.
So it demonstrates the literal discare she has for what the brother's trying to uphold, which is the entire family business.
Yeah. There's a real... these moments are good because you kind of understand the dynamic between OJ and his sister. You see that she has her own life and ambitions, and he's clearly so drawn to keeping his father's legacy alive that he's going to do anything it takes.
I think the brother and sister dynamic is a go at the country and city because she's just like, oh, fucked therapists and I motorbike ride and I've got all this shit. I've done drugs. And he's just like, I'm on the farm. His whole life.
And that kind of comes back like a little bit. I know you watch films and you see certain characters do something that's, like the gun under the table sort of thing, but something's going to happen. They keep doing something like the blonde girl in horror movies sort of thing. When she's doing the music up the top, when she's up the top of the house and she's playing the music really loud, that sort of moment that represents one of those sort of moments, but it isn't that bad. I think it's written so well because I know you two were saying you didn't like her in these opening scenes.
I think the fact is that we're not meant to like her.
Well, I feel like
we're meant to be frustrated with her.
I was so won over by OJ's struggle. At that point, she was an obstacle to his success. And so that was why I didn't like her.
Yeah.
So they go and meet this character called Jupiter, and we find out fully later, but he starred in a sitcom. And this sitcom is absolutely famous because there's this chimp that played on it. Gordon, that's it.
Gordon the monkey.
Gordon doesn't like his birthday present and proceeds to murder a family.
It's done so well.
So that's the opening scene was the set of this sitcom where this monkey went crazy out of nowhere and started killing everyone. And a lot of people find this particular plot point confusing and derived. However, we had a big discussion in the car right afterwards, and I guess we'll go into it later because we've got a lot of stuff to get through, but there's a lot of hints that this isn't coming out of nowhere. And also that particular event really is kind of Stephen Yen's only character development.
Yeah.
Because his character doesn't really have a plot line.
There is a lot of background telling with his character, like noticing like all the posters and everything in other TV shows. He is a dying actor, like in the industry.
Child prodigy.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of?
He's a child actor. Put it as simply, he's a child actor known for a famous event and directors probably not wanting to connect themselves to it. So he's in all these smaller shows and everything. He's telling the main character, OJ, that he needs horses for this a new TV show that's a Western and everything like that.
You know what it reminded me of? As the young kid, you think exactly the same thing. Ki Hu Kwan, who was Waymond in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
He was the young kid in Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Didn't get a role.
And he didn't get any roles afterwards because they didn't want child actors. And then he came back later. But I feel like...
I don't think it was just because he was a child actor. I think it was unfortunately a race issue.
No, Asian child actor.
Yeah.
But the same thing happened with... what's it called? The kid from The Goonies as well. He was in The Goonies as well. But there was another kid in The Goonies that didn't get any roles because he got fit and they wanted a fat child actor.
Yep.
Another one is Home and Away. Like barely got a role.
Home Alone.
Home
and Away. A few child actors in that, mate.
Home Alone.
Yeah. Macaulay Culkin, yeah.
And just from a production design point of view, God, they put so much effort in. Holy shit, there's so much in the background. Having a Mad magazine, probably done by the original artist, recreate a magazine poster as if it's referencing this attack that never happened
In
is
real
insane.
life. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We kind of get a bit more of a flat. Is this when we go into the dolly shot? So we see that basically they were throwing a birthday party in this episode for Gordon. And
actually, I just realised this is actually a lot later.
No. Yeah, so it's we go into his room. So we find out that Jupiter, who we don't realise yet was really in the moment during that, he just goes, I usually pay for this, and opens up the secret door, and it's this whole room dedicated to this attack, this horrific moment in film history. And he's got like genuinely all of props. He's got posters. He's got t-shirts.
Particularly something they focus on is a shoe.
And the shoe with a blood splat on it. Which I think is his first crush's shoe. Which is wild.
And I actually just realised, coming back to me now, after that scene where he shows them around that little museum, we actually get another flashback that isn't the full dolly shot. We actually get one where it's just him under the table.
Yeah.
And he's freaking out because he disappears, the monkey disappears.
And that's when he has the blood on his face as well.
So we don't see what actually happened in the event, but we see that he was the kid in that sitcom.
And that's when you kind of get your first suspicions of the guy, in the sense of,
to be honest,
why the fuck has he got a room dedicated to something he went through?
I thought that was weird, but to be honest, I did not have any suspicion of him until
the shoe.
Not until the shoe, until he was doing the show. I didn't have any suspicions of him.
Actually, I thought he was sus as shit.
I think the reason that because you watched Walking Dead, haven't you?
Yeah. I always see him as Glenn, and I'm like,
I always see him as the good pizza boy. So I'm like, yeah, he can't. To be honest, he nearly. Oh, actually, I won't spoil anything, but he. No, I think we saw him as someone to trust, especially because Daniel Kaluuya's OJ trusted him enough to go to him and ask him for the money, and he was a bit budgy with it.
Yeah.
Oh, so he wanted to.
Yeah. OJ asked, "Can I buy for a later plan to buy the horses back because he sold 10." And you can kind of see Jupiter's hesitation in this, and that comes back later. But
and that's when Emerald distracts him again.
Yes,
and looks at the poster
again. Another moment, I was like, oh, "Fucking go piss off."
Yeah.
But we'll move on because we're getting stuck on Jupiter. Basically, we go back to OJ. He has a little banter with his sister, and this is when we get our first title card. And I think it's Ghost is the first one that goes missing, and we see Ghost, and that's the name of a horse.
Yeah,
is that the white one?
Horse, the lodged in the back.
Yeah, so horse. Ghost was the horse that his dad was on when he died, and all of a sudden, OJ's just tending to the farm and everything like that, and he goes up and they look out.
No, his sister looks out the window.
Yeah, because they go back to the house, they share a drink and toast to something. I don't know what it is.
That's right. Why is Ghost in the arena?
Arena, yeah.
So Ghost is just in the arena, must have been left out or has jumped in there.
They seemed pretty erratic.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So he's just in this arena. He goes up and.
But at this point, OJ is already kind of suspicious because he already doesn't believe the stuff that happened with the plant.
Yeah.
So they said that there was a cargo plane that dropped a bunch of keys and coins, and that's what killed his father. But he doesn't believe that at this point.
Oh,
so
grandfather or father?
His father. Yeah.
Oh,
so the horse is just staring, just full on ears clocked, eyes clocked into the distance, and he's just like, "Sup." to the horse.
Yeah, well, rocks up in his little buggy.
The Polaris.
The horse jumps the fence and just runs off
into
into
the
the distance.
distance. Yeah.
And this is where we have a moment. Again, we'll go into this in further detail later when we talk about Stephen Yang's character. Basically, you see Stephen Yang's ranch and the lights, and you can hear his voice echo through the valley.
We hear like someone going up into the lights and all that shit, and we're like, whoa, is this a cult built around the aliens?
Yeah.
And we can hear the horse screaming as it goes up.
Yeah.
True. So we
Because
see
we
that.
hear it go through the sky, and we're hearing.
So Ghost didn't die then, did he?
No,
No, he did.
Ghost was the
So-
first horse to die.
No, so Ghost ran to the
Ghost
ranch.
ran off. They ran towards the ranch,
How
and
did
then
he get there so quickly? And
It's a
then,
fucking horse.
and then Glenn,
Glenn.
and then Steven's character's just like, oh, there's a horse, perfect timing.
No, I think there must have
he
been.
didn't know about it.
He
then.
didn't. I think it must have been a different horse because at this point, OJ sold 10 horses
Yeah.
Do you
to
think-
Jupiter.
Ghost was one of the horses that he had already sold, and as the horse had gone into the arena and that, and then had jumped back.
No,
Yeah.
no, I think no, because Ghost
Because
was
that, yeah.
Oh no, Ghost
no.
was there because they sold.
sold
Yeah,
Lucky.
no, you're
They
right.
sold Lucky.
They-
They
yeah.
sold Lucky, yeah.
But
I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, you can hear Jupiter practicing, or
Yep.
I don't know if there's crowd.
I
It's
thought
got to be
I
crowds.
think I don't see the meaning of it until later. But you could tell it was Jupiter. You thought he was just putting on like a show. I thought he was just putting on a show.
And I only heard one line, and because it was very muffled. Kind of muffled, it was in the distance, done really well. By the way, sound design, best Jordon Peele, best I've seen in a while. I mean, like Everything Everywhere All at Once was fantastic as well. But
Watch it in the movies.
the sound design is incredible. But I do remember one line. It was saying, "I haven't been the same over the past 6 months," which is ironic, because this was a time jump of 6 months. So, and that was Stephen Ewan's character saying that down there. I
So
can
it
100%
must have
say
been 6
he
months ago.
mentioned something about 6 months. I haven't been the same, or I haven't.
And that's
Yeah.
so his dad died from falling objects, which we find out later. So that must have been when he found out aliens.
Oh, I haven't been the same for the past 6 months. Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
yeah. And this is when OJ first witnesses the actual alien. He sees this object just go between the clouds, and he does probably the most normal human thing ever, and that's just all right. I'm not sure if I saw what was real. I'm going to stay pretty
Well,
quiet
actually,
about
no.
it.
I thought it was very interesting because he admits that he saw like something random, and his sister believes him instantly. But I loved that Jordan didn't waste our time with that trope of like, that's too crazy. I don't believe you.
What could it possibly be? It was straight away, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, instead of spending half the movie being like, see, this is real, instantly we get into like, everyone believes it, and now we can focus on what it is.
She's
And-
like, are you sure you saw that's what you saw? All right, cool, I trust you, let's go.
Yeah.
And basically, they go to a department store and they buy some security cameras. We meet Angel.
The weirdest goddamn character on the planet.
He's funny.
He was awesome. He was
He had
so wild.
Had a little rant about his girlfriend getting into the CW.
Yeah, no, buys all the shit. He does. He is the embodiment of retail.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, do you want a card? Do you want this
Sign
shit?
up,
Do
yeah.
you need it
All the time.
installed?
Are you
I
a
would get
member
it
with us?
installed.
Yeah.
My manager's gonna call you. Can you please give me a good rating?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to install this by yourself. And then they pull up at these houses.
me more
And that was
money.
actually another shot where they were like flexing with the reflection of the van doors.
Yeah, not having
They do
the camera.
Yeah, they do a direct pan, like a dolly backwards, and have these two reflective doors, him stand in front of it, and you don't see the camera. Very
Wild,
impressive.
Wild.
And we set up the two cameras.
Yeah. No, they set up like a bunch on the fence.
Yeah, he sets up
Yeah.
like 3, but OJ specifically asks him to point the cameras at the sky.
And this
And
is
this
when
guy-
Angel starts going.
Yeah, what do you
But
call it?
again, they don't do the "you're a fucking weirdo, you're crazy." Instead, Angel's like, UFOs exist, man.
No, Angel is like the nut job, like the actual
Yeah.
believer in all that shit. Just
But I love. There's not a single point here, except maybe when they're talking to the cinematographer, people don't believe that what they're talking about is real.
Oh, but they don't even reference UFO, like, to the cinematographer.
Well, I think he thinks like they're fucking nut jobs.
I mean, you guys aren't going to tell me what's going on?
Hell no.
But yeah, and then we get to that night.
Yeah. So the second, I think overall there's 4 nights. So the second night, do you guys remember the horse's name? It was
Clover.
Clover.
Was it Clover?
Yeah,
Clover and then
you're right.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Clover and then the blue jean guy and then.
It was Clover, Lucky, then Blue Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. Yeah.
So what happens to Clover?
So
This is when
we
inside the horse arena. But
so
the
they have a
undercover
little horse like cooling station where like they have the
Yeah.
sprinklers on to cool down the horses while
Oh
they
no,
train.
yeah. So that's a indoor arena that they use sand, and the sprinklers are literally just to keep it like that. So sand will water down. Water will water down sand.
No. I'm just laughing.
We
You both
understand.
had two
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things.
But
Okay, go
basically the lights are on and OJ walks in there and turns off the lights and he starts walking away and then the lights turn back on and he turns around and these fucking little creepy almost I wonder if for those shots they almost got contortionists because they don't move like kids, they move like you can't make out what it is but it bends over and it stands up and then another kid pulls out of the window and they're all in alien masks.
They're all in which we find out later. Jupiter has purchased to turn this all into
he's a marketing
big
thing. So
thing. But yeah, these kids are fucking with these alien costumes, and he does something that I don't think anyone else would do in the sense of, all right, phone, like just like.
Well, because this is when they were very money hungry.
it
They
was the
wanted that
first
shot.
note as well
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he sees the kid and he goes, nope.
Which is honestly human. Yeah, greed is definitely a huge theme in this film.
Yeah, but I think to be honest, I didn't find OJ. I think OJ's greed was more just to survive.
Yeah.
than it was.
When,
I think
not
there's
like his sisters.
everyone's greedy. Even his sister, I think it's to survive. I think
No, his sister's
Steven
like,
Yeun-
she wants there.
But-
She wants
but no,
there.
but when shit gets real, she wants to leave it.
Yeah,
he's
at
the
the
one
start,
who tells her to stay.
She was the one that wanted to leave.
I just have to mention, OJ fucking just whap the
Oh,
shit
yeah,
out of
oh,
an
yeah,
alien.
punch the kid.
Clocks the
Yeah.
kid, dude.
If it was an alien, I really wish that's how it started.
Yeah, it made such a funny noise
Some
as
little
well.
fuck like jumps out and he fucking.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
hanging upside down, and then he turns around and sees it. That was. And it made such a weird noise. I was kind of disappointed because that's when I opened my eyes. Like I was like doing this for like the entire scene. These guys are laughing at me, and then I opened my eyes, and he punches it. I was like, oh my god, this is scary. Then they all start laughing. I'm like, are you
And you
serious?
realize it's Jupiter's kids actually.
Yeah.
It is?
So it's not
bloody-
just any random kids. It's Jupiter's kids.
Oh.
Which, again,
We're gonna see till later when they have the
So
show.
it shows that there's a weird work relationship between OJ
and his wife and his
Jupiter.
children demonstrating how much he fucking believes in this.
Well, not
If
only
he's
this,
willing
like,
to
that
sell
they
it to
just
his
don't
kids.
care about privacy as well
Mm.
Yeah.
and other people's property.
Yeah,
which
because
is-
they have to get off the jump the fence as well. So.
Oh, well, that's just kids.
Yeah.
They like, oh, cool, we've got really cool alien costumes. Like, go fuck with some people.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, I guess that was like a bit of a fuck off scare. Like maybe that was
Yeah.
just. And he goes outside, and then a fucking UFO
Yeah.
comes and takes Clover.
Yeah.
And
I don't
this is when we
remember that.
see it. It
Yeah.
comes out of the cloud.
Mm.
So there's a cloud above him and Clover.
And this is when they're playing Mantis.
So does when does Angel explain to them
So-
the cloud?
So
Angel
Angel's watching this.
is
Oh, yeah.
basically when Angel set up the video camera feed at OJ's house, he has remote access to the cameras, and so
Which
he's already.
he says I can, and then they say no, you don't have to do that. So he does like a literal illegal shit.
Yeah,
and
he
starts-
commits a crime, but
It's alright, we like it.
he's watching it, and a praying mantis gets on one of the security cameras, so you can't see on that security camera.
Not the jump scare
Really
in itself.
weird.
But the other
Really
camera
weird.
goes down because we know that when the UFO from the first shot, which Hannah mentioned, that his phone cut out. We know that when this UFO is around,
It fucks
all
with-
electricity cuts out, whether it's wireless, whether it's
Yeah.
battery powered, cuts out. And basically the cloud above him. And
moving
if you watch the
EMP.
trailer, you think that the cloud is the UFO, but there's this reveal as the UFO comes out of the cloud.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird saucer with a massive fucking hole in the
Yeah.
bottom.
It is an absolute go at the classic Alien.
Yeah. So,
But that's why it's such an awesome reveal. When they reveal later, spoiler alert, this saucer isn't a machine or a
Metal
ship. It's
or
a
anything.
fucking organism.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
huge
an
fuck off
animal.
thing.
It's not even metal. It's fucking skin.
Yeah,
Like,
and it butterflies. Like it is
As
weird.
it moves, it.
but anyway, so it sucks up Clover, and that's our second night.
Yeah. And, so
And
then,
this is when we go into Steven Yeun.
Yeah, this is because then I think Angel hasn't come back yet. Yeah, this is when transitions to him at the sitcom. This is them having like the live show of this monkey
so
sitcom.
I think, given this is Ben's favorite scene, I figure this is Ben's one to explain.
Doesn't the monkey have his own title card? It has
Gordon.
his title,
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah, it just says
and then it
does.
opens to the pan.
This is where we get introduced to what actually happened in this monkey incident. That at this point, honestly, I think we're all more concerned about what happened with the monkey stuff than we are with the fucking UFO.
Yeah.
I thought it was like I thought it was super jarring in this moment, but then like later on you're like, oh
yeah.
But this whole film's kind of very jarring. Its editing style.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like, when it gets to its highest point, it rips you away, and you're just fuck.
get back. Anyway,
Yeah, actually, no. There was a few moments where I'm like sitting forward, really enjoying it, and we like have a joke.
Like it goes to the highest point it can, and then it kills it, and you're like, you bastard! And it goes to the back highest point, and then back. It is an arc. It is 100% an arc film.
Each segment loses its energy by the end, and that's when the title card for the next segment pops up. My energy came all the way back because I know that once that title card comes up, something fucking crazy is about to happen.
Yeah, and so we have Gordon. This title card starts off with this lovely shot of the sitcom run through, typical sitcom. Sort of puns, you know, the
three
laughing
camera
audience
set up,
and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is before the dolly though. So we have the actual footage of it's like a panning shot of the people. It's Gordon's birthday. We're going to see Gordon.
Yeah,
you can really
don't show
tell
it
this
at
film
all,
was.
but you can hear him in the background.
Oh yeah. You can.
Personal opinion. Fucking Stephen Yang's kid actor's fucking
man.
shit. He's the only one that loses his fucking lines.
Yeah,
I
but-
actually love that.
No, that was
It was
an
so
actor
good.
trying to be shit. That was awesome.
But the casting was great.
Yeah,
spot
they
on.
look spot on.
Yeah, and then ironically, before we get into that, we have this sitcom view. We have the two kids, the two girls giving their presents to Gordon.
No, that's
One-upping each other.
That's
No. That flashback is the one where it's where it goes through backstage.
Yeah, but that happens after the like. Could we
Yeah.
hear that it goes black, and then we have to go through the jungle.
Yeah.
So the actual vision of the sitcom happens. The first girl's like, oh, I've got this present, and then
That's
the other
right.
girl's like, well, I've got this present. Like, oh,
And then your
well,
kid's
I'll
like-
put this one on the ground. And
So basically, they're showing what happens in the sitcom through in-camera footage. So you can see the lines on the camera. It's like if you've ever been behind a camera, you're seeing all the
Yeah,
monitors.
it was like it was filmed on the DOP's
viewfinder.
viewfinder.
yeah. So it was great, and then we had these.
Okay.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm getting
No,
told off by the
Andrew's
soundy.
like, this is something that I'd like to do.
So
talk about
so yeah, we had this one of the girls put down
Don't apologize.
this big box, and they open it up, and out comes some balloons. And I honestly think the reason the balloons popped was because of the lighting. I think it was like they
Yeah,
sort of
because it hits the
Yeah.
lights. Because the other one that you see later that it hits the
Yeah.
light and it pops.
So they go up there and they start popping, and then we hear the monkey react. And
Still
people
don't
say,
see
no,
him.
No,
Yeah.
calm down, and then it cuts to black.
Another thing, you don't
So-
see the monkey in any of this.
No.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
talking to the monkey. They're talking
So
about the monkey.
uncomfortable.
So we were talking about this in the car, and this is so over the like really demonstrates primal like thinking and everything like that, which we find out with the alien. When the balloon pops, the first person to react is the child female actor, and she screams, and that must have triggered the ape.
Yeah.
Gone, your prey, like just like that.
Yeah, because when we'll talk about it later, because there's a few things we need to go into depth after we recap the story, but one of it is the comparison between the monkey's relevance in the movie and the UFO.
Yep.
And we talked about later that there's a dynamic between predators and prey that is definitely shown there. But again, we'll go through this at the end, I think, because it's important we get through the story before we unpack this stuff. Otherwise, it won't make sense.
Yep.
But so Ben, go through our favorite shot then.
Yeah, so we have once it cuts to black after the screaming of this sitcom footage, we have kind of a behind the scenes dolly shot which moves through a bunch of leaves. We can hear the ape. We can hear the balloon still popping, so we can still hear popping. We can hear the ape walking around.
So that was what we thought was gunshots.
Yeah,
what we
that's
thought
what I
gunshots
was
in the
going to say.
beginning. Camera moves around, moves through into the set, and there's carnage everywhere. I don't know if we see the body from the front view. I think we go.
We never do. It's
Yeah.
always from the feet.
Yeah, and then we go around to meet little Stephen Ewan's character, little child actor underneath the table.
Stealing our bevies.
You go, okay, we're getting some more drinks here. Yeah, I'm going here, guys.
Just chug it.
Yeah, and so we have, great shot. And then we meet the child actor of Stephen Ewan. This is his flashback underneath the table.
Like the third time.
Yeah, this is the third time we've had the flashback of him. And then I think the monkey comes back around. You can hear it screech. I think because another balloon pops off. And he jumps back around, and the girl sits up.
Then it goes back to the original shot we opened with, and it sticks to that shot for the rest of the scene.
Yeah.
No. So it goes up onto the couch.
Yeah.
And it's looking around. You can hear her go.
Yeah,
like she's
she
just
starts breathing again.
Yeah, and it goes
nuts when he goes over and starts banging on her.
But that's still the exact same shot
same
as Jake was trying to say.
It joins up. Yeah.
The camera pans a bit, but it's the same.
As his facial features, it's POV.
Like the same camera.
And then the dad character goes down the stairs where he must have been hiding and goes, "No, you calm down.
Gordon, I'm sorry, Gordon. Can we talk about the brutality of that on the girl though? Like, we don't see anything. We just see her legs sticking from we're behind the couch sort of thing. We see her legs sticking out, and we can see the monkey swing his paws and just crush, and then you can hear pulling as well.
Yep.
Which is very intense. And then
we
hear the dad come downstairs.
Yeah.
I think we hear munching.
Yeah, I think he eats.
Munches on her face.
Yeah.
And
which is great.
Guess what? That girl comes back later.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
My man, if anyone watched the trailer, that girl whose face is like all messed up.
It looks like she's burned.
Look like she's got a burn victim. That's the girl from the sitcom after she's had her face munched by a monkey.
Chewed off.
And this was the scene that I know Jordon Peele in an interview during the media run, he this wasn't like he was asked to give something that wasn't in a trailer and it isn't a spoiler. He said there's a brutal animal attack, and everyone started theorizing about what it could be: horses, bears, whatever. Turned out to be the monkey. I think it was brilliant. I did say in the car, I think it could have been MA. I wanted to see some blood and gore.
How the fuck is this film not MA?
Yeah, this is an M-rated film. So if you're 12, you can go see it.
I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't let your kids watch it.
I would be traumatized to hell.
The flashback ends with, they talked about earlier that Stephen Yang's character and Gordon used to do a little atomic fist bump, and this monkey sees Gordon hiding under the table, and instead of attacking him like the other guys, it kind of puts his paw and it starts doing a fist bump. The whole
film is a real go at Hollywood's like treatment of animals. Like using them on set and everything like that, and when it goes wrong.
I guess it's also hierarchy. When we think about set hierarchy.
I think it's a little bit. I think he's almost kind of mixed it. It's classing. I think wealth, capitalism is a big
monetary value
ideology within this capitalism. Like who's getting paid who, and who's the working class and who's the high. Yeah, you're right. It's class. It's class, but it's more capitalism focused.
And then we have the and we actually see this side shot of the two fists coming together, and we think this is an alien shot
in the
trailer. And then we hear gunmen, police or SWAT team enter the building, and he gets shot in the head.
It was a great moment where, and you can tell something's off with Stephen Yang's character at this point. And it kind of makes sense after you look at it in hindsight, but you can tell that up to that point, he was terrified of the monkey. But as soon as the monkey went for the fist bump, he thought he
had a gift,
had a control over his predator.
Thought like, holy shit, I'm not considered a
threat.
A prey. I am the master.
I am not prey. I
am the predator.
Yeah, and there was something to use off that. And then we hear that. Actually, I just realised that shot of with the blood on the face is what we see when he goes to the museum. Like after that shot of the museum, when he walks him through, that shot of him like under the table.
When he's under the table, that's the moment that he's about to go and fist bump the monkey. That's obviously had that absolutely drilled and trained into it. That I'm meant to fist bump this child. Like, it's such a play on Hollywood's treatment of animals.
Absolutely. And then we cut to Stephen Ewan in his office again, leaning up against the table.
As an older, like back in his ranch,
present day,
and he's nervous for his performance.
He's just staring.
And this scene, man.
Does the double up horse car happen before that, or
which part?
Yeah, because it shits out the fake horse with all the blood.
No, that happens after this scene.
That happens
So
after the scene because the blood's
blood
from
comes
this scene.
from.
Oh,
But basically, earlier on, when something happened with Clover, because it's after the thing. Basically, if we go back to Clover, when the kids show up, the sister stole a horse, like a horse model
Jupiter.
from Jupiter, and put it in the field, and the UFO sucked up the horse model before killing Clover.
And Steven also, his character, rocks up just as they talk about it and goes, "That horse looks familiar," but then the female cuts him off and goes like, "Where'd you get your horse from?"
Yeah,
anyway,
you have to talk to my wife
and then he
about
goes
it.
to show them the pamphlet of
the night.
the night that we're about to talk about.
That is
and
interesting.
then it flies out.
they
He's
went.
like, "Okay, bye."
I think he almost wanted to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because basically, we'll go into it in more detail at the end but basically what we've summarized
did
or
he
theorized
stare at it
is
because it arrived early?
I think
Yeah.
we've theorized
Yeah.
that Stephen Ewan was purposely killing people. But anyway,
Yeah.
That's our
so
theory.
he does this performance and he's like, "Oh, this is my old co-star crush," and then we see her fucking mangled face.
Yeah, she's
my first
wearing
true love.
this hat with like kind of like a
crush.
widow's
Yeah.
like cover
Veil.
up
Yeah.
veil.
Mesh.
And you can see under she's just barely any skin.
Her
Yeah.
teeth
Oh.
are so
Like
far
obviously
forward.
they've done the surgery technique
Yeah.
of taking skin from other places to try
Yeah.
and cover up,
Skin
and it is
grafts,
nasty.
It's
Looks
gross.
really good.
And Jacob
But,
points it out. He's wearing a jacket with like the whole UFO on the back of it and everything.
It's
like,
a literal spaceship on the back, and we're like, Jordan Peele's just being
Embroidered.
clever here.
No.
But then he fucking opens his mouth and he's like, 6 years ago, when I was a
Yeah.
kid,
6
not 6
months
years ago, he
or
goes,
six
no, he
months
goes,
ago?
when I was a kid, my dad took me up here and I saw a UFO.
Yeah.
Really?
And my horse ran off and it took the horse, and I want to share that with you.
I thought that was just
yeah,
he
it
said that
rode
was a
off in
month
the
ago.
sunset. However, it went to its people. Like
And
Yeah.
basically, we realize in this moment that Stephen Ewan knows about the UFO.
Yep.
And we realize he's the motherfucker at the end of the hill earlier that's
With the
kind of
lights.
creating a
Yeah.
cult out
Yeah.
of this fucking alien.
Well, not a cult. He's literally feeding people to it. Anyway, but he pulls off the sheet, and we see Lucky, that the horse that OJ sold to. The liquor's getting to me. But that OJ sold to Stephen Ewan at the start of the film, and he's like, "Oh, whatever. In an hour or so, you will see this UFO," and then, and we see the opening shot. You can tell the UFO's there because basically the model that the UFO sucked up earlier had a big like a flag connected to
No,
it.
I think it's been. Nope, you're right. Sorry, keep on going.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's there.
It doesn't move. It just makes a noise, and you look up, and like
We see
didn't
a
want to point
POV
this out
shot.
to you earlier. Like you can see the cloud that it hides in. That doesn't
yeah,
move,
we forgot
and
about
it's
that
there
bit.
hiding in the corner, and then all of a sudden the cloud moves closer, and it's just peeking out as if it's staring down.
But you see the flag from the model dangling out of this cloud, and it pulls out, and Stephen Yen, you can see he's like stumped in this moment. He's like,
No, you're good.
he's not meant to be here this early, and he's kind of freaking out a little bit.
Oh.
And he's like, you know what? If he's here early, we'll do it early. And he's
Yeah.
basically trying to
Hustle this horse out.
hustle.
Go, go, go.
He's like, yeah, horse, get out of here, and then everyone stay in your seats. Stay in your seats.
No
Which
cell phones.
I
so-
think he obviously kind of went down the same path of the sister, where he was just like, oh, I'll go to some alien infusers, and did it late at night without any of the staff, because this one is the first time he does it with the staff there.
Well,
and
I
they
think
get sucked up.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument to be made that Stephen
and of course
Ewan,
he's never going to explain any of it.
no,
Like,
Jordan
there's-
Peele will never explain. But I
Yeah.
think there's an argument to be made that Stephen Ewan was oblivious to the UFO's intent. But from what we're discussing, I like to think that he
happy to feed the beast.
he was feeding it.
Yeah.
And in this sense, like we were talking about with Gordon, that when he went for the fist bump, he wasn't scared of the monkey anymore. He thought he was above it. He thinks that he
Won't get sucked up.
Yeah.
Even though
he
he's
has
staring at
he's
straight.
like the master of this predator.
What's the word?
So-
He thinks he's invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very funny because Stephen Ewan plays Invincible in the
Oh,
show.
yeah,
Invincible.
yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like so Lucky is in this glass cage, and there's a gate, and Lucky just will not move,
Yeah.
and that's obviously from previous experience.
The only one that's been through it. And so
Yeah, he's the only one that's witnessed the UFO and not been sucked up.
Yeah. So when and then Ewan's character's like, go, come on, get out of the cage, get out of the cage, and then the alien is obviously just like, fuck you, and comes down and tries to suck the horse out of the cage, and proceeds to then just go, oh. Yeah, there's people here, and they're all looking at me, and goes and sucks the entire crowd up, children, families, and there's a fucking moped, like someone's and
moped.
This is
it's the girl with the veil. She's on
she's on a little
wheelchair.
Moped.
Yeah, I don't know how we swallowed that, but
anyway, this is the scene that me and Andrew were talking about as the most disturbing.
It is the most genuinely. I stopped watching.
That's why you missed the fucking skull.
It is the most. I don't know why, but anything with guts, I find horrifying.
It was an incredibly claustrophobic scene.
Oh,
yeah. Basically,
it's so like simply done, but fuck.
Basically, we follow these people as they scream, like the screams and the sound design is horrifying, but they're in like an esophagus, and you see them getting sucked up to the top, and as we get to the top, we see a horse skull. And you realize, I think in this moment, because OJ had hinted to it earlier, but in this moment you fully understand this thing isn't a machine. It's a fucking organism that fucking consumes.
So, one thing I want to point out is literally the first shot you see in the film is this really strange square-like shape.
Yes.
And then later on you realize
the title's
the fucking organism itself inside the alien. And it is so simply done in the sense of this creature is very just this thin skin, but it's like a fabric-like texture. So they literally just put people together as if they're being pushed up these 2 sheets of fabric with all this blood and like wave it around.
And
it is the most disgusting.
His wife. We focus on his wife.
Yeah.
It's
his
his
wife.
wife.
I thought it was a blonde girl, and his wife was like more brunette, orange, short hair.
I think it was his wife, but this is kind of the point where OJ has a memory. No, okay. So basically, it sucks up the crowd, and then it moves over to OJ's house, and Angel happens to be with OJ's sister in the house, and it's raining heavy, and fuck, it's so cool how they do this effect because you see the rain stop, and like. There's a clear curtain of rain around the house, and you realize the UFO's directly above the house, and then.
So it's OJ's sister and Angel who shows up again, favorite character, who's just been like, hey, I was watching the footage, privacy breach, and
that's when that happens.
He's like, Dad, that's insane. So you're telling me in that cloud, like I've seen some wild shit with all that shit. That cloud hasn't moved an inch, and like, and OJ tells like that cloud's been there for 6 months.
Yeah, he's like, I'm pretty sure I've stared at that before.
The last 6 months.
Yeah. So, and then the sister and Angel are in the house, and then it starts raining. Do we hear the stuff falling first?
No, I think you hear the... Yeah, Hannah, you go.
Okay, so before any of this happens... Sorry. I don't remember how it happens, but for some reason, OJ the character, he makes his way to...
Stephen Yen's place, because he sees the pamphlet that Stephen Yen brought earlier, and he realizes that Lucky's in danger, and he wants to get Lucky before the alien gets him.
So he goes, nothing's raining just yet. He goes there, and he sees the horse. He's like, cool, awesome, I'll come and get you.
He's trying to get it out of the cage. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And then that's when you see the organism.
That was so cool.
That's when you see the UFO, and he realizes, shit, this isn't metal. This is a fucking beast. And he knocks out.
It's such a cool shot.
So cool, and it's such a well done job from the camera operators, all the first assistant ADs, like to focus up into the clouds as if there's fucking...
The ADs are getting credit for camera work.
Are you focusing over there? Camera assistants focusing up on a sky, and you genuinely see this, or like just... go from cloud to cloud.
Yeah,
kind of like genuinely like stalking. Just
it's too hard to describe how well they did with such heavy CGI.
Yeah,
because to be honest, the only CGI moment that was really a standout was Gordon, and even that worked because of the context of what happened. All the stuff with the UFO, we're just like they must have just filmed the sky and then CG'd over the top, but fuck, it looks good.
Do you reckon they use like miniature, like you know how people build like miniature places and do like micro cameras? They probably just got like little.
What it would have been is
flaps.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier with Jacob, and he had a go at me like, "Oh, how dare you spoil it?"
What they me saying, yeah, I said you should.
What they would have done is they would have done a location shoot with 3D 360 cameras, and then worked out where they want the ship to go. They then would have done just a really basic animation, and then would have had it on a monitor, so then they can literally film it in the same spots, and then
Anyway, sorry for cutting out.
No, he grabbed and blew it in my face. I apologize.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Absolutely
Drinking apple
disgusting.
cider.
Yeah.
Sorry, anyway, Hannah. Yes.
But no, I'm sorry for cutting it. I was just like, we missed this whole scene. He gets knocked out, and then all of a sudden it's back at the home where Angel and the sister is, and it's pouring down rain.
Which was
Continue, Jacob.
terrifying. This is the most tension building scene in the entire movie.
And basically, OJ's calling his sister. And he's like, "It's coming. You need. To, you can't look at it. It's coming for
He's in
you."
the car.
He's
It's
in the
territory.
car, and then it starts raining blood.
Yeah.
And
So
like, so much
it goes
fucking
over the
blood.
house. You can see that it's not raining over the house anymore, and then all of a sudden, all the shit starts falling, and then the rain. It is shitting out rain on top of the house, and it is
Blood.
genuinely like textbook territorial marking in the sense of marking your scent onto an area, and it is just covering the house in blood, and it is the most eerie, fucked up, but again, really showing its love of like classical B-movie shit with its score. The score with
the gore
classic
as well. 'Cause, like,
violins
the
and shit.
B-movie horror loves their fake blood. And
And
I
the
thought
blood running down the window, and then on the
Kind of
I
reminds
got a
me
lot
of
of-
It.
yeah,
Sorry.
I got the Shining vibes.
Yes.
But basically the blood comes down and
Rivers of
OJ's
blood,
character
yeah.
drives there, basically trying to help them. His
He's
car
on the
phone
turns
with
off
the
because he gets
sister.
close to the UFO, and the model that the thing sucked up earlier drops onto his car,
The
fake
horse.
horse, yeah.
and then we cut
The
to the next
statue horse.
And
night.
he's like, nope. And locks the car.
Yeah,
That was our second note of the day.
yeah,
And then he goes to sleep.
He locks the car, but basically that's our night.
Yeah.
It closes. He manages to get Angel and the guy out of the house.
My favorite fucking whole bit was the next morning. It's all foggy. It's like just a morning after rain. It's all foggy.
And it's
the house
early morning.
is stained, absolutely stained with blood, covered with all the shit. And you can hear him like, this is the moment he realizes with looking, like, and he tries it.
Yeah, he's like slapping his leg, looking
Yeah,
down. Like,
he's having to look down as this alien is right on top of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he gets the van close enough to them to be able to pick them up, and they
He
move
gets
out.
he gets them out of there, and it's good. And then at this point, there's been this B plot, like a side plot that's happening with basically when they did the Hollywood shoot with the horses. There was meant to be this famous cinematographer on set.
Who's totally just dying in the industry.
Yeah. Has a very deep voice, but he's known for
Starving.
shooting impossible things. And before all this stuff with Stephen Ewan happened, they called him basically, "Oh, can you come and help us film this thing that's happening, the UFO?" And he basically brushes them off. But
They never say the UFO, but they just say the impossible shot, and it's just like, never chase the impossible shot; it will eat you up. Foreshadowing.
Big foreshadowing. But basically after Stephen Yang's entire crowd
And him.
thing went missing, it went kind of public on the news, and people, he hears about it, and he realizes that he got a call from people living in the ranch next door, so he realizes that he can get this shot. He
He's
knows
like, whoa,
something's happened.
something's happened, and I love. I like. It's frustrating, but I love it. Like, it shows his character. He gets to the place, a house literally covered in blood and people's possessions, keys, wallets, mobility scooters, and all that shit, and he's staring off into the horizon.
Well, he's focusing on the cloud because he doesn't. In his mind, he's so good that they could have faked all the house shit, and it's only the cloud that he can, in his mind, can justify as real. But when he sees that the cloud didn't move an inch, he's like, "Okay, I guess you guys aren't bullshitting me. I'm gonna help you get this shot." And we're in the final act now.
Yeah.
And fuck, this movie goes quick, man.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-hour movie. It's not a short.
2 hour, 10
This
minutes.
film is obviously made by people who love like digital, like not digital, sorry, physical film, like actual chemical film, because they make this whole character who has handheld non-electric film cameras.
And that's important because obviously when the UFO shows up, electric cameras and shit just stops. So it's a wind-up camera.
And it was one of the best shots when Emerald's on the stairs. Saying,
That's when finally the sister and brother.
Yeah, that was like their connection regarding this, I think. But it was like, I told you didn't have the electrical camera. I was like,
They all start clapping.
I told you I'd get the best. This motherfucker brings his own non-electric camera. It's cool as handshake. Like I don't know what to call it.
It was a really nice moment because at this point, I feel like all the tension between them was kind of dissipated.
Well, Kaluuya has been so down. Like he can play such a good depressed character.
Another little thing demonstrating his sort of whole vibe. I think it was the second night that the attack happens. While they've done all this preparation, got cameras, all that shit, he's still making a bowl with that to still try and get horses trained for the industry. Like he's like, yes, there's this, but family.
Got your family heritage to keep up,
And then it just all goes out the window. Like he is ready 100% to fight.
And then I'm pretty sure this is when they have their little Avengers action plan.
It did feel like that, and the music made it like that.
That was one part I was a bit iffy on. I was like Kaluuya's got his monologue. He's like, you know, I can't remember any of it, but that was using Monopoly pieces. That's all I was finding.
Basically, he wants to go back. He's back at the ranch, and he's like, people are going to find out about this thing eventually. We have to be the ones that capitalize on it and get the money for it.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of people taking stuff. Again, it goes back to his great-great-great-grandfather. I'm tired of people...
And his dad,
literally
losing his dad to this creature.
I'm tired of people taking stuff that we've created and discovered and getting the credit for it. Yep. This is our thing.
Yep.
And so they basically steal a bunch of those blow-up men out, that outside all the car dealerships. And they put it along... They just set it up in rows along their field because obviously when the UFO
shows up, it kills all electricity.
And so you'll see the men deflate. And this cinematographer brought his own wireless camera and he's up on the ridge with Angel with another camera. And their plan is OJ is going to lure him out with Lucky because Lucky's still alive. But Lucky stays alive the entire time.
Luckiest horse.
But OJ's going to lure him out with Lucky and... They're going to find it, and they're going to get the shot, and then they're going to sell it, and they're going to fuck out of that ranch, because that's the plan. And they get there, everything's going well. Basically, the UFO's starting to show up. You see on the edge, and then this fucking guy on a motorcycle shows up.
MTV or whatever he calls it.
CNN.
And it was another flex with the cinematographer.
Yeah,
his chrome
literally,
helmet.
he's got a full chrome helmet, and the camera never shows up in it,
except for an eyepiece.
Well, his character, because obviously he's heard about all the shit that's happened at the ranch, and so he's like, if you're not gonna cover it, I'm gonna cover it.
Yeah. So he shows up like, this place is blurred on Google Maps, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's a shot at a lot of things in America right now.
Yeah, which is kind of like,
military
does
bases.
The government already know about it? But anyway, and then shows up with a camera. He's got like a C100 and then a little
C100.
I don't know what it is.
That's what we're filming this podcast on, by the way.
Like a Nikon.
No, like he's got a Nike camera and then he's got this tiny little DSLR camera.
He's got his Nike.
You just called it a Nike camera. Nixon.
But it's
Nikon.
You're calling it the fucking president. Nixon. President Nixon.
Gonna get the Adidas cameras out.
Adidas.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so he pulls that out. He's a little camcorder on the side.
Two cams strapped together with two handles and a tripod little attachment at the bottom. It is nuts. And then he's got a GoPro on the camera on the motorbike.
Cocktail for you, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, keep going. But yeah, and he's just like, oh, fine. Guess you don't want to be in the movie. Fucking speeds off and he's riding an electric bike, which I thought was the most biggest plot point thing ever. Like, his whole character's a big plot point
I think
thing.
the thing is, we find out at this point that it doesn't matter if it's an electric bike or not an electric
Yeah,
bike because his car
It's
starts
gonna
with-
cut out anyway.
Yeah.
I'd love to know if that was Jordon
It's a
Peele.
go at Tesla. No.
I'd
He's
love
like,
to.
fuck Elon Musk.
I would love to realise that was Jordon Peele under the helmet, not the voice, obviously. No, I'd love to know if that was actually him. Just like, cause we never see the guy. We see his like broken arms and whatnot.
Yeah, so
it'd be pretty cool if he was in there as a little.
But anyway,
So he's like, fuck it, I won't film it there. Film you in it. And he goes, rah, rah, and goes down the road. And it's really obvious. They've already worked out that the alien is hovering in a certain location.
right
because
above OJ,
OJ
like right
with
next
the
to
horse.
OJ.
And he's put blinkers on the horse so the horse can't look up. And then of
That was
course,
a
he's not
cool.
looking.
There was a lot of cool little because also he's worked out at this point because it ate the thing with the flag
It was nice.
that it won't like flags
Yeah.
anymore because it's wary of eating fake shit. So
Yeah.
he's got a
the
hoodie.
creature starts to realize, oh, I can't eat that shit.
Yeah, so he's got a hoodie with
I find it. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
What were you
So
gonna say?
I was just say I find it so neat that he put a bullet vest on.
yeah.
that's
that's
not a
quite-
bullet. That's a rider's vest.
Oh,
so
is
they
it?
make rider's vests to help when you fall off a
Oh,
horse.
right.
because
Thank
they
God
can-
we got this rural cunt.
Anyway, my dad
Yeah.
broke 4 vertebrae for not fucking wearing them. Anyway, so
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah. So old mate on the motorbike,
Yep.
goes
One
down the
hand.
road and then proceeds to hit the EMP zone. Like the thing is like EMP, like it just kills electricity and then
And it's
quiet.
such an they do a great job on the wide shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they fake that? Anyway,
But basically, it just
Oh,
it's,
mate.
it's
Just
like it
reversed
hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
But
The bike stops
the bike hit a brick wall, but he doesn't, and he keeps flying.
Newton, was it Newton's third law?
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He hits
Motion and all
the
that shit.
it's wide.
We're film students. We didn't pass year 12. No.
I did. Barely though.
Yeah, the A
What a
class.
flex.
Yeah. Okay, you're cool. All right.
Anyway, like, he hits that area where it's like, oh fuck, there's
Right,
no electricity. Falls, and they're like, he's not gonna make
he's
it.
alive.
And then, it's
proceeds.
still the wide shot. Yeah. And all you hear is.
Angel's just like, he's not alive. He's not fucking. He didn't survive that.
But at this point, we're so used to screaming it because fuck, the sound design is just full of screaming from this UFO.
Oh.
Oh my god! And back at that scene, I was like,
We realize what the screaming is. It's whatever the fuck it's eaten, because there's a moment when it's pushing it up into its into itself, and then all of a sudden it just like vaporizes it.
yeah. But I found going way back when Stephen Young was like, oh, here's my pamphlet, take it. They're like screaming across the yard
Yeah,
from
yeah,
each
yeah.
other, and I'm like, damn, imagine being a soundy.
Oh no, yeah.
Trying to have to
Sorry, I was
level
thinking
the.
boom mic in there a little bit.
It's just this 18-meter long.
And that's actually a really interesting thing about in terms. I know we don't care about in terms of talk about this on the podcast, but in terms of actually being on set, there will be so much wind in that valley. Can you imagine?
They
Oh my
did such a
God.
good job
Yeah.
with the
Such a
sound
good
design. I honestly, if there's one, as much as the cinematography is fucking stunning, they got Christopher Nolan cinematographer on this, by the way. But as much as the cinematography is stunning, fuck, the sound design really makes this
Yeah.
film.
Even better than Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really
king.
like the sound design in Everything Everywhere, but
Yeah.
this was way
So,
better.
old mate carks it on the bike, is screaming, he's like, yeah, and we really show who OJ is. He is this old school hero, like in a weird way. Like he just goes, all right, and then immediately goes in there. He's confident, he's looking down and everything. He goes to try and help the guy, and there's a line, and we were talking about this, and it's wild. There's earlier reference that there was a movie.
It's like, why aren't you recording this? Why aren't you recording this?
Yeah, again, showing that
The
sort
guy
of
that's
character.
fucking broken, like nearly paralyzed on the ground, is like, record me.
Record me!
Because it's not worth it unless it's documented.
Exactly. Shot it. It's Jordan Peele taking the piss because everyone would just want it to be recorded.
Nothing's real unless you document
unless
it.
you
Yeah,
document and publish
but
it,
the wild thing is he references a movie that his dad that OJ's dad worked on, that sold the horse that his sister kind of broke away from the family of, because that was meant to be her horse, and that really sends OJ, and they pause for a moment, and then he looks up.
But basically, he
looks-
realizes that this guy is looking directly into the UFO, and you see the UFO in the reflection of his chrome helmet,
which is amazing.
and OJ's like, basically like, sorry, bro.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, he literally does the. Not my fault.
Is he on the is he on the horse there or on the Polaris?
No, he just runs and then he
so
jumps
he was on the horse, gets off, goes to help him, then gets back on the horse,
and then rides off,
and then rides off,
and then UFO sucks.
It's so, and you hear the scream of him echoing back when they cut to Emerald at the house.
Yeah,
Oh, and they're so good with the screams.
While this is all happening,
man.
old mate DOP is filming it on the film camera.
Yeah, basically,
and we're like, whoa, he got the shot. He got the shot of the alien, and then
because it chases OJ down the street, and then OJ kind of like does this cool barrel roll.
OJ had put like little reflectors on his hoodie and puts it up, so then the alien wants to go, oh, that's eyes, it's looking at me, and it chases OJ, and then he releases like a little parachute of flags, like for marketing and everything like that, and it goes up, and the alien goes, I can't,
because it doesn't like the flags from earlier, and basically it's this amazing shot where it goes kind of like parallel,
and that's when you
and he
really
kind of
see
jumps off the horse. He jumps off Lucky and hides in a barn, and you see the DOP got the shot, and you're like, "Fuck, we got this!" And then the DOP goes,
I gotta go for the amazing, the impossible shot.
And he looks at the sky, and he's like, "Fuck, the lighting's so good up there.
Yeah.
I gotta go."
It was. I think this was the moment where I was.
It nearly ruined the film for me. I'm not gonna lie. But I was so mad.
Yeah,
mad.
Yeah.
Old mate gets up the hill with his little handheld crank camera and goes, I'm gonna stare at the alien that I know I'm not meant to. He goes, "Brrr," and the alien goes, oh, yum.
Yeah, we get the POV shot of his legs in the air as well.
I stopped looking, but like...
I like that idea that, like, as he's getting stuck up, he's like the guy that got paralyzed and like, please record me. Even though he's getting sucked up and he knows he's about to die, he's still cranking that button.
And at some point you can see it slow down. It's just the burnt frame.
Oh yeah.
There is such a parallel between like in it for the money and then in it for the impossible. Like
But
such a
it's
parallel.
different levels of greed. As we say, Jordon Peele doesn't make shit without meaning, and greed is such a theme, and it's the different levels of greed. It's like he's in it for legacy. OJ's in it for legacy, but also for money.
Yeah.
But this guy's just in it purely for, I want to do something that nobody else can.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, seeing that we had a toilet break, we are going to do a complimentary shot of Bailey's here.
Just for you out there.
I don't know if this is a full shot. This is more like what you get in a Melbourne club. But we'll take that. Jacob, Jacob, finish her off. There you go.
3, 2, all right, I guess we're going.
Now, as I was saying, before I was
Bit of Bailey's in there.
Hoyt, is it Hoyt? Yeah, Hoyt van Hoytema, who is the director and photographer. He is the DOP for Christopher Nolan.
And he's also a brand of cinema in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
sure.
you talk about the fucking cinema.
Hoyt's.
I love Hoyts. I was like, we didn't watch it at Hoyts.
That makes sense. So he's done Tenet, Interstellar, Dunkirk,
Her is a
No
fucking
Tenant,
beautiful film.
that repeating the same ones.
He did Dunkirk. That's fucking awesome.
Spectre, James Bond Spectre.
Really?
Spectre was a shit film, but
Call Girl,
good
The
cinematography.
Fighter. A really good cinematographer. And
I recommend you look up his story of how he became
we did
Christopher
that, didn't we?
Nolan's cinematographer. That's probably a conversation for another day, but it's very interesting how people can kind of come from nothing.
I'm hoping he's an Oppenheimer as well for next year.
Oppenheimer.
I wouldn't be surprised because he seems to be Nolan's like go-to at the moment.
Yeah. So where were we with the
So
film?
basically,
we've got old
the
mate sucked up.
cinematographer just got sucked up, and then we're in the final couple of minutes of the film.
Yep.
Basically, Angel wraps like a barbed wire
So
fence for
Angel
himself.
like was in the camp and everything, and all the camp gets sucked up to all that awesome footage that they had recorded for the moment.
Basically, this fucking dumb cunt cinematographer. Fucking lost all the cool shit that they just filmed.
And they all realise it.
He rolls down the hill. He's in a tarp, so he can't look at it anymore. They chase it. The alien chases the sister for a moment. They suck up the barns, and then it sees him again. It goes after him, and he has the brilliant idea of wrapping barbed fucking wire around his stomach. And
Because
we were
that's
talking
that's what the fence is made up of.
we were talking about the fence is entirely a barbed wire fence. We were talking about this. Motherfucker's got some surgery ahead of his life.
lot of
Holy
surgery.
shit! Because the
Ripped.
alien comes up
And rips on him.
grabs him, and you
Sucks
see it
him.
pulls out a couple of posts, and then it gets like what a meter's
Ben's like your hype man in this
Oh,
movie.
I love you,
It's
bro.
like-
Yeah.
And you're like, he rips it. He's like, yeah, he rips
Yeah,
it.
he did, yeah.
Oh, I'd say 5 meters worth of fencing, just up and with him at the end, and you can barely see him in all the dust, but you can hear him, and he is yelling. And it eventually, I think it gets some of the fence,
Yeah, and then he drops down.
drops down, and that's when it fucking butterflies.
Yeah, that's when it
Yeah.
opens up.
So
This is-
basically,
Opening up to society.
I made a comment at this, like after the film, that basically Jordan Peele managed to get us scared of quilts
Yeah.
because this UFO looks like its skin is made up of like cloth and silk, and it splits up. It becomes literally like you said, Andrew, a
It
butterfly.
just opens up through the middle, and it's got like a center.
It's
Um,
impossible to fully describe. You have to
Yeah.
again.
Looks like a dress.
We prefaced
Yeah.
this at the start of the podcast, but
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah.
this is complimentary. This is something to watch after the movie. You need to watch this movie.
I think we've said that every time.
Yeah.
If you're watching and you haven't watched the movie, then that's cool. But we recommend seeing the movie anyway.
And I think in order for this podcast to really hit you, you should watch the movie first, because this movie in particular is one that, as we could describe every detail in every plot point in detail, and it would not give the movie justice.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, it opens up and it.
Did you let it sink all to the bottom?
The sister is in a really
not much
awkward
of a spin.
situation. She's in between OJ and the electric bike.
Yeah.
And this thing opens up, and we see this part of it push forward between everything else, and
I don't think it's there. I
going
think it's in
through
the
his
shelf.
cupboard.
in the drawer.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
it's
Andrew.
like an eye. It pushes forward and it stares
Yeah.
straight at the sister. And then OJ's like, fuck, I need to do something. So looks up at it for the first time in for ages since he's worked out the strategy. And then it focuses on him. And there's been this constant reference between the brother and the sister. It's such a classic thing that now in this moment has such meaning. You look at me, you go. Like, and
There was a
finally-
moment we missed where she talks about how basically the father preferred him over her.
I do think that he was the older brother,
Yeah.
but also that being a male,
Yeah,
he was
he
next
was
up.
like basically the father was like, you are gonna be the one that trains the
Yeah.
horses.
and that's still engraved in his head, I think.
Yeah, and so she remembers distinctly the moment when he was chosen to train a horse that she was promised, and his
Metaphor.
father never. Her
He's
father.
on a horse, she's on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Yeah,
But,
actually, I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
But she said, "Dad never looked at me, but you did," and we see a little flashback of a young OJ,
Doing this up at her.
and then we come back to where we are now, and he's like, it's just powerful.
Yeah. So that she kind of goes no and looks back up the alien, and eventually he's able to do that and gets her to go, I've got to leave. And
Yeah.
OJ runs off on Lucky, and
Yeah.
it chases him for a moment, and then she runs off on the motorbike.
Because
He
at
has
that
to-
point,
yeah, he has to
the
wait.
UFO has gone far enough away from the motorbike that she's got power back
Turn
again.
it back on, yeah.
Out of the EMP zone, and she's driving off to the carnival. She's going there, and then the alien turns around. And honestly, I just curious question: did we all think that OJ was gone?
No,
Yeah,
I
I kind of hope
thought he
so.
would. I was hoping he would come
Yeah.
back because I thought it would be cheap if he didn't.
Yeah.
But
didn't think he
Yeah.
was. I didn't think he was dead at that
why
point.
do we have a dog now?
Oh,
You have a dog?
A little
yeah,
puppy.
mascot.
Yeah.
It's gonna sit on the microphone.
I
for the
thought Winston was just walking around. I'm just like, what?
rest of it.
But yeah,
But,
no, beautiful shots. And as
He,
this
the thing is,
going
OJ's
on-
so smart as a character compared to all these
He is
people.
He
He knows how to deal with animals.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of there goes the mascot. A lot of the characters that Jordan Peele writes, he writes them very non-horror-esque. Like a lot of the horror characters, you're like, come on, you fucking idiot. Like, especially with Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out.
Yeah.
What we think is what he thinks. We're like, okay, he knows that he has to get a certain distance away for her to turn the motorbike back on. She gets away and she goes to Jupiter. She goes to
So Jupiter's ranch.
ranch. Yeah.
Rant.
It follows her, and then
I will
she.
just say,
Yeah.
like, the shots of her on the motorbike it feels really awkward because it's obvious the actor doesn't know that much about motorbike. She never leans in the corner. She's just like.
Yeah. And that's actually something
and then all of a sudden she does this perfect lean.
Yeah.
That was on the notes as well with Daniel Kaluuya. He actually was riding the horses. So we have her, and she is going around. I can't remember a whole lot, but I do know that she goes to the inflatable. That's the main part.
It gets stuck on it.
Yep.
And then she goes, oh. And then,
yes,
because
right,
it freaks the fuck out now about flags and
fake
later,
things
and so she goes around, she pins it from the ground like camping pins.
Yeah.
This is huge inflatable Stephen Yen,
and doing this,
and it's honestly up there with like a really awesome moment of tension when there's nothing actually bad about to happen to the character.
Yeah, but it was
tension.
gorgeous.
Because we go back to that well that we talked about right as she enters Stephen Yen's arm.
Photo bombing.
Basically, it's a camera that's pointing into the sky, and she has to get a photo of. She's lost all the film of this creature. They've all lost the film, and she's got all these coins around because obviously when the creature eats people, it spits out what's in their pockets, which is coins.
Do you think it went through the crowd and then it went?
Oh my god!
Hannah's had enough of me.
Him. Oh my goodness! Anyway,
it went through the crowd and then went through the whole fucking carnival.
Oh, the carnival, yeah.
Like obviously that's a first rendition of the thing, so like there wouldn't have been that many people, and then there was more people actually
in the
going.
Carnival.
So it went.
And then dropped everything back out.
Yeah, so
like
there's there's keys and coins everywhere because the carnival obviously runs off like coins and like collectible coins and shit.
Yeah,
because it's a gold rush
she
sort
has
of
to
thing.
use that to her advantage.
So we were talking about this at the car. It's such a twist because she goes from I'm going to make money off the footage I take of this alien to having to pay for the footage.
For the proof, yeah.
For the proof. So she grabs up as many coins as she can get and she puts it into this well that has a camera at the bottom of it.
And then Hannah, you talk us through what happens.
Hannah has asked for this moment to be removed, as she does ramble for the next 20 or so minutes. So we'll quickly skip over this.
Start from the start, Jacob.
No, the UFO eats the inflatable and explodes, and we basically end on seeing the photo come out of the well.
So
we see
coppers arrive.
They're like Emerald.
No, so yeah, she goes, that's right, you don't fuck with whatever the last name is. The coppers arrive, so obviously they're going to see the photo. The photo prints out, it's this huge, like probably A3 film photo. She leans up and then she gets up and she's staring, and at first we think it's kind of like a horrifying shot, but then slowly she starts to smile, and in this solid like go to classic Western Hollywood Django sort of style, the music scores off the roof. What does the sign say?
There's the play
where he
over
leaves.
the speakers.
No, but what does the sign say?
It's just
leave.
like old yonder or something.
Yeah, beyond yonder.
Yeah.
And you see OJ on the fucking horse.
And he's got that
jumper.
orange hoodie.
Hoodie.
Orange hoodie.
Flurry
And that's where we
jumper.
end it. We end it on the shot of the fucking, and they've got the shot of the alien, and man, what a satisfying ending to this film.
Yes.
But it doesn't end there because fucking Peele loves his metaphors. So let's go back a little bit. Let's quickly run through this. Stephen Yang's character, in our opinion,
You just talk this. We'll
Yeah.
okay, in our opinion, Stephen
We're
Yang's
fried.
character knew about the alien. We know that he knew about the UFO because he tried to sell it. But we see earlier that he's having like a practice run. And also 6 months earlier, coins drop and keys. So obviously the UFO's eaten people at this point, right? So in our opinion, Stephen Yang was influenced heavily by the Gordon incident. And this is where the monkey ties in. He was influenced by the Gordon incident, in which he thought he was in control of predators. Like he had the power to tame animals that should not be tamed.
And use them for money.
And use it for money. And because of this, he made a call to advertise this UFO, and he thought he was above it, and he was feeding OJ's horses that OJ was selling to him to this UFO.
10 fucking horses.
Not even just the horses. I reckon he was a few people. I reckon,
Obviously, it had to have been people
And the
with
pigs
the
as
coins.
well. And the pigs as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our theory in terms of what the monkey's meaning in the film was. Obviously, I know everyone's going to have a different opinion, but that's kind of what we came to in the car.
Yep.
Finishing this film off, it's an amazing film. Please watch it. Let's get into our final reviews.
Fuck
to
yes,
finish
I
this
can't
whole-
wait for this.
So let's start with Hannah.
Oh, cool. Well, anyway, so I give it a 9.4.
Wow, that's a very specific point for.
I was going to do 5, but then I was like,
Actually,
nah, you guys
what,
are hated.
what lowered it for you?
From a 10.
From
God.
a 10.
I think as soon as the alien went from, oh, it's this cool, it's not a metal UFO, it's an actual alien.
Yeah.
It's flesh, to this butterfly thing that had this weird square eye that opened up to
More
plastic,
Yeah.
plastic like flappy things that keep the flies out of the that keep the flies out of the restaurants. That kind of went
It looks like that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Andy?
I hated this film for how it left me, but God, this is a good film.
Ben was ready to fucking king hit you.
He was getting king hit.
Yep. Well, you wouldn't have seen it coming. You wouldn't have seen after it either.
Anyway, like, I left with such a disgusting feel in my stomach that I genuinely... We went to Nando's fucking after. I didn't think I was
We
going to
didn't
be able
vlog
to
it, I'm
eat.
sorry.
I it was disgusting in all of its gore and horror and everything like that, but that's what makes it amazing. Its cinematography is good. There was one shot in particular when the ladder comes into frame when she's trying to go up. That's when I went, oh fuck, this film is serious, because that is such a hard shot to get. It was amazing, and like I said at the start, this makes aliens scary again. And
UFO, it's such a clever take on UFOs.
Yes, it is such a go at B-movie and making that whole scene cool again. So I'd honestly give this a 9.9.
Wow,
yeah.
Andy.
But
Growing up,
Andy's gone from fucking hating every film that Ben enjoys slightly to like being like, fuck, it's as close to perfect as you can get.
all I will say is I won't watch this movie again. Like,
Really?
I hated the
I'm going to
gut
go see it
scenes.
again.
I will see it. I don't think I'll see it again
Like,
recently. I think I'll
those-
give it a couple months.
Oh,
but
you
I'll-
said-
Those
Free,
gut
something else,
scenes
yeah,
in
so-
particular, I nearly walked out of the cinema roll. Fucking oath, they are horrifying. I genuinely think I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight. Because
Don't worry, you got me,
fucking-
bro.
You wanna watch
Don't
it?
Oh, I'm gonna cut. Yeah, I'm Witherspoon. Anyway, 9.9, fucking amazing.
Brilliant.
Let's hear it from the man that's give everything a good score.
All right,
Like
so
the idiot he is.
this. Oh boy! Now, sitting here thinking about this, I will say that this movie is not my favorite Jordon Peele film.
Oh, so he's come to the
Whoa.
decision that Get Out's better than.
Get Out is, in my opinion, I
haven't seen
prefer
Get
that.
Out yet, so
I
I've got to
really-
see
you really
it.
gotta watch
love
Get
it.
Out. It's
I
a very
absolutely
good
love
film.
Get
Damn.
Out. So I am putting Get Out higher than this. I'm still giving this. Oh, it feels good. We're losing the opportunity here. Giving it a 10. I'm gonna give.
Whoa.
Yeah, because there's not a
Whoa.
list.
That's the
10
first
max?
10.
Off
the
the
first
podcast.
10,
Let's
I-
fucking go.
Looking at it, there is not one thing I would change about this film.
Wow.
Like, I know when I walked in, I was like, I wish they gave more about the dad, but then that would have slowed down a lot of other things. And we would have missed on other things or made the movie
I think
longer.
you learn more about the dad from how the others
Yep.
react to him.
Yeah, so that it's my first 10. Probably not my last, let's be honest.
You've liked every film, so yeah.
Yeah, well, this was my... I think...
Your film of the year, would you say?
Yeah, but this was my most anticipated film. Once the teaser came out...
I think it's a big thing for a film to be your most anticipated and actually reach that
Yeah,
level.
well, that's the same thing with next year. So Oppenheimer's my most anticipated for next year. That's the next Christopher Nolan film.
You better not start fucking reversing shots. I swear to God. If it starts doing reverse time, I'm getting up.
We get up, Oppenheimer, the logo comes up, and then it gets scratched off, and it's Tenet 2.
No, like the bomb goes up because it's based on the atomic bomb. It goes up and then...
Every cinema has a bomb go off. Anyway, yes, this is my first 10. I love this film.
Wow.
I'm gonna go see it again.
Wow.
Wow.
And I think it's It's the film. The perfect way to describe it for me. I hide a lot during films. A lot of these like thrillery sort of tense films. I hide a lot. But when I'm doing this and I want to know what's on screen, that's how I know I love the film. Is because there's a lot of time when there's like, The Conjuring, whatever, those shit films, I'll cover my eyes and I'll be like, I don't really want to see what's on there. I don't want to hear it either. But this film was so beautiful that I wanted to see every single frame. I wanted to see every single thing that was shown on the screen. So that's why I'm giving it a 10. Jacob?
I'll finish this off. Thinking about it now,
Later, mate.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna put this above Get Out for me personally.
Wow.
We should watch Get Out tonight.
We should after this. We'll watch Get Out.
I'm a little bit drunk.
That's
I may
alright.
throw
It's
up.
fun. It's a fun movie to watch drunk.
But I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed with the way that they could keep up expectations, especially such high expectations.
Was such a hype film. Holy shit.
And I think Jordan did something with a high budget that a lot of films miss out on, which is utilize.
Yeah.
And he really made the most of the VFX team, and I was so thoroughly impressed with the VFX. Andrew, yes?
All I would just ask is, in agreement, do we all think of the main cast, was any of them poorly acted?
No,
No.
I think
No.
I don't think there was any bad performances.
I mean, I feel like the girl, we never mentioned this, the girl from
Oh, from
Euphoria?
Yeah.
yeah,
She
the
was
girl from
kind of-
Euphoria
she
was in there
wasn't-
for a fucking
Yeah,
second.
Why
in
was
the retail
she?
store, so that with Angel when she was over there eating popcorn.
Like, why?
That's such
She
a
had
throwaway
no-
character.
Exactly.
That wasn't even her acting then wasn't bad.
When she
Yeah,
showed
no,
up, I
she's
was just sitting there going,
amazing.
Fuck you.
An
I don't
amazing
like you
actor.
from Euphoria. But
like,
no,
why
I
is she
think-
should have
there?
got sucked up.
But yeah, sorry to cut you off, Jacob. Like, other than that, everyone else was amazing at acting.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind being cut off.
For a small crew
He's
as
used to
well.
it.
For a small cast. it was
I
good.
think that they really Jordan Peele didn't waste the budget at all, and he went.
Not like Northman.
Yeah, I think Northman would have actually been better with a smaller budget,
Mm.
and maybe we'll come around to reviewing it again. But that was probably, I think, before this was even announced, that was our most anticipated of the year, right? As a group.
Northman.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because I'm biased, but I just love Jordan Peele that much when I
Stop
saw
it,
them.
No, but I'm saying before.
Not because
Nope
I'm
was
bi.
announced.
Not because I'm biased, but when I saw that Jordan Peele was going to have another Hollywood budget, I got so excited.
Yeah, but I'm saying before the Nope was announced at all, like before we even
Oppenheimer.
realized it was coming out.
No,
Northman was probably,
Northman-
and I
yeah.
I do think Northman's
For its
all.
cast.
It was heavily Hollywoodized, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word, but I will say I think Jordan Peele really used the budget well, and he went bigger, but not plot wise. He went bigger with the visuals and like the scope of what he could do with the story.
technicality.
Yeah,
Like, with
but
his
the story was
crime
still
and-
so condensed, and
Yeah.
you see that
Holy
through the fact
shit.
that there was only like 4 or 5 major cast members.
You know the story is incredible when we're still here
Yeah.
ripping it apart.
Yeah.
I
And still
will-
trying to understand it, like trying to interpret in a different way.
I will say, I think I'm kind of on the edge. I'm going to give it a 9.5, and it's losing that 0.5% just because I think it probably would have been a stronger film had they cut another 20 minutes from it.
Yeah.
It felt quick to me.
There was, like, in no way did I feel like it dragged. I just feel like there was moments in there where shots
shouldn't have shown.
like lingered, where again he was flexing the budget, and I thought it worked very well. But there was a few too many times that I
I
think
will
he
just
extended the screen
ask,
time.
in the sense of like Jaws, how the whole thing about Jaws is never show you a monster.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about like we saw the alien?
But I think
so
that was
early.
so good. I think that was so good because that's
have-
how he did the. Because you think it's a fucking machine, and
Yeah.
honestly, at this like halfway through this film, I would have given it maybe like an 8, because I was like, UFO. He's made it scary, but it's still a fucking UFO, with
UFO.
little Martians in it.
Yeah.
When he does that twist that the UFO is actually a fucking organism, I was like, I'm in. I'm fully in. Jordan Peele is a genius.
It takes incredible effort to make a monster that you are showing for most of the fucking film and still be scary by the end of it.
I've got one thing I want to add, and
Before we
that's
I'm done, by the way. I'm not saying anything.
That's all right, mate. It's our last. It's actually a little segment I want to do real quick. I want to go through, and we won't say why. We say in less than 5 words what our favourite scene was. Just straight up. You can say like blank scene, something scene, or that. So I've got 2. But I want you to go first.
Okay.
Just
I'll say
your favourite scene.
blood raining on the house.
Okay. Hannah, actually, when you go next.
All right. Sitting in the car, he's like, nope. And then that's where I got really jump scared when the horse went through the windshield.
Actually, I want you to go because I've actually got my second one.
That's so crazy that yours is first, yours comes second, and mine is the fog afterwards.
Yeah,
That's
right.
insane.
Wow.
That moment
It's all in the
is
same
so impactful.
period of the movie as
Yeah,
well.
well, I hate to ruin it, but the monkey scene for me was actually the favourite. The monkey scene, I'm trying to think of the other one. We'll literally just talk. Oh, I mean, to be honest, the Stephen Ewan scene where he's looking up, like that was just incredible. Like literally the scenes you guys don't like is my favourite, to be honest.
I
There's
love
nothing I
the
don't like
monkey
about it.
scene.
I mean, under the esophagus scene.
I
The
hate
intense,
that.
like
but
the...
like that's amazing that it can make me go.
That's what I
holy
mean.
fucking
it can make
shit! I
you
want to
feel
leave.
claustrophobic, and the scream at the end, like hurt.
I know this
like you
sounds
felt that
super
shit.
weird, but like I felt my entire organs
Yeah,
when
no,
that
you-
moment happened. Like
you
I
feel
felt
It
worried,
was
you get
a
anxious.
gross feeling that it
Yeah.
made us so.
Well, I think
But
that's it.
I really recommend you watch. I think we all recommend that you watch this movie.
Yep.
I really hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I feel like as a collective, we're kind of coming into our stride a little bit with what this podcast is, and
Definitely.
balancing comedy and also being able to do reviews. We appreciate all the support on our videos. Obviously,
you guys have been amazing.
this is a new thing for us, and we're really excited to be able to share our opinions with you guys.
End
And
of the day, this is honestly just a piss take for
Yeah,
us.
it's just-
we want to have fun.
I mean, we want to be able to share who we are as filmmakers with you guys, and I think hopefully as we go on through the rest of the year, we get better at that. But I think we can all say that hopefully this is kind of the direction we wanted to head in
Yeah.
with the podcast, and I think we'll sign off, eh? Well, one
Yeah.
last cheers.
With her empty drink.